live. So it's here. It's starting. One of the things that concerns me the most, it looks like it's becoming true. Brain chips. Computer brain chips in your brain. And they're being made. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
Alright, so for those of you who are new here, I don't like robots. I don't trust robots. I don't trust AI. I have several reasons for them. You can check out several of my podcasts about them. I complain about them quite a lot. I do not trust them. That does not mean that I'm anti-technology. I like technology. I like things. I just have issues with certain automatic pieces of technology. But before I get into this, let me just give you a quick reminder that any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram and at Super Dario World. Also, live streaming every day. I aim for 7 p.m. Tuesday through Thursdays, but this is a weird week because I'm house sitting for a friend, so my schedule's kind of all up in the air. But live stream Monday through Friday. On Twitch, it's at Super Dario World. On YouTube, it's at Super Dario World. And also follow my Facebook page. I update everything there at Super Dario World. Subscribe, like, and all that stuff and all those pages. It actually helps me out. So let's get into it. So recently, a billionaire entrepreneur, Elon Musk, announced that his company, he had a live stream where he showed off his company Neuralink and a little project they were working on. Basically, it's a brain chip. Now, the brain chip is supposed to be helping with a lot of stuff, and let me just tell you this right off the bat. I saw the video of the things that it can do right now because they showed a video with a pig, and I think I have like the video right here. I guess let's go to full screen, and they show a bunch of stuff here with the pig and what it can do and blah blah. Honestly, it was a long video. It was kind of a boring video, to be honest. It's mostly like what it could do and a pig walking around, but it kind of shows you the direction that you're going. Now, this was very concerning to me when I saw the title, but then when I saw the video, it's like, all right, Elon Musk is kind of known to be a fibber. He overpromises, and I guess that's not always a bad thing, but in this case, it did concern me a little. Like, for example, he promised that there'd be self-driving Tesla car. Let me see if I can find the pig. Oh, here's the part with the pig. And so he promised they'd be self-driving cars all over California in 2020, and so far he hasn't delivered. So he kind of overpromises stuff, so that kind of gives me a little piece. So yeah, you can see this thing here. It was kind of boring. You didn't get to see much, but whatever. Here's the part that actually I found interesting, and I find this very concerning. Very concerning. Okay, the gist of it is, I don't trust things in your brain. All right, I don't trust anything that's not in your brain to go in your brain. Your brains are complicated enough already. Having somebody else in your brain freaks me the fuck out. And the way that they're painting this is it's supposed to be for medical convenience. Let me show you here some of the things that they say this is going to treat. So it could treat memory loss, depression, anxiety, addiction, insomnia, hearing loss, blindness, extreme pain, strokes, brain damage, seizures, paralysis. So that's a broad range of stuff that it could cover, and which means that it would have a broad access to your brain. And I don't know if you know this, all these things do different things, and controlling them is very difficult. So I don't like the idea of anybody messing with your brain that much, or anybody having access to your brain. And actually, in this video, a guy asks the question of, will you be eventually able to command your Tesla car to come up just simply with your brain? And Elon says, yes, that's the plan. This is concerning. So basically, your brain will become your phone. Your phone can get hacked. You do not want to at the possibility of your brain being able to be hacked. And so here's where we go. First off, let's go into the ridiculous part of it. So let's go into the sci-fi aspects of it. So there's been a whole bunch of movies made out there that proves that this is a bad idea. There's a whole bunch of books that show that this is a bad idea. And let's say example number one, Gamer. This is a movie with Gerard Butler. Let's switch to this. All right, that's a little bit better. A movie with Gerard Butler where basically a bunch of ex-cons, they have brain chips implanted in their brain, and kids or gamers take control of their bodies and they play actual video game tournaments with people actually die. So exaggerated, but it shows that this is a direction that it could take, you know, where you can actually start taking control over another person. I mean, if you could already take control of the area of the brain that causes stress, the area that causes movement, the area that causes pain, it wouldn't be that far off to be able to physically control people's movements. Let's go to another example. Transcendence. Now, this is something a lot of people consider to be cool. Like, hey, would I be able to download all my memories into a computer and live forever? Theoretically, yes, because all your brain is data. Like, basically, well, it's not all your brain is, but it collects a lot of data, and basically all your memories, what they are, is data. So theoretically, you could save that data, but it would not be you. We are, honestly, we're not exactly sure what it is that makes you human. I guess that's still been a philosophical question since forever. Are we only a collection of memories? Are we a heartbeat? Are we a soul? Are we a combination of everything? What creates a human? Is it the emotions? Is it the memories? Is it a combination of everything? What is it? Now, a lot of people think, oh, well, could this lead to an altered carbon type of situation where, again, you download your memories into a chip, and if you die, you put your chip into another body, and then you're like, boom, all right, okay, I'm still alive. I can still keep going. The big question here is that really you, or is that just another living being with your memories? What are you? And then you enter the question of let's say, for example, a clone. So if they clone you and they give them your memories, is that you? Would you consider that to be you? No. Actually, there's a movie out there. It's a Christopher Nolan movie. I believe it's The Prestige. Spoiler alert. It turns out that one of the characters is kind of cloning himself after every trick, and he's drowning one of the clones. He's not exactly sure which one he's going to be. Is he the one that's going into the water, or is he the one that's going to be cloned? You don't know. You don't know who it is because, again, we're not exactly sure what makes a human. We don't know what makes us human, all right? So I don't like the idea of downloading your memories. And first off, somebody could just delete them because you're just going to be, imagine, there's a flood in your house wherever you have that heart, because it's going to have to be somewhere, physically somewhere. Or if it's in the cloud, you're kind of fucked. But because then it's accessible to everybody. But is that the things most important to you, your memories and stuff like that? Does that mean that the people who started losing their memories, are they less than human? It leads to more complications, I think, than people realize. Another example, we got Ghost in the Shell. So in Ghost in the Shell, there's a lot of humans are starting to put implants on themselves. Switch their arms for robotic arms, their eyes for robotic eyes, stuff like that. And there's the main villain in the movie basically starts implanting memories in people's brains and manipulating them with that information. So let's say he makes you believe that you have a family and that your family's kidnapped and that you have to save them, but it turns out that you never actually had a family. So that's the problem with making your brain hackable. All right, your brain's already kind of hackable. Like you ever been to, what's it called? What are these dudes that I forget their name, but it's the dudes that like hypnotists. You ever been to a hypnotist? Some people can get their brains hacked already. Now imagine actually having a fucking antenna in there that'll make it easier for hackers to get into your brain. And I'll get into the consequence of all of that. But yeah, a big concern there that they were going for having direct access to the brain is that they can manipulate the information in your brain, putting memories in there, altering your life, altering your identity. And again, here we enter the question. If all we are memories and you have altered memories, that means that they've altered you. Where does it go? What makes a human? Moving on, we have another example. Oh, that's actually kind of interesting. There's a TV show called Sword Art Online, and Sword Art Online, it's weird because the first half of one season is good, the second is bad, then the second is bad, and then the second half is kind of good, and it enters into a whole realm of possibilities. But here, the device that they create is basically, it's like a helmet where you go into a video game world, and basically you're playing video games in your sleep, which kind of sounds awesome, except for the fact that in this particular show, they lock you in there, and if you try to escape, the device will kill you. It'll fry your brain. Again, you do not want to give access to anybody. You don't want to give them direct access to your brain. It's like you're giving them a possibility of killing you. Now, this one's a little bit more exaggerated because it's not direct access, and I guess it depends on brainwaves and stuff like that. It would be a little bit more complicated. And honestly, I like the idea of being able to play video games in my sleep, but again, it's direct access to your brain. That's a bad idea. Imagine that in your sleep, you're just constantly being bombarded by commercials. And they will have access to this because obviously people are going to pay. If you're going to pay for marketing, you're going to pay for marketing direct to the brain. And even if the company who creates this first, they're like, we'll never do this. We'll never send it to you. They will offer so much money. They'll be like, you know what? Actually, fuck you guys. And since nobody actually reads the terms and agreements, we can do whatever the fuck we want. And we'll just keep sending stuff direct to your brain. And they're asleep, so they're not even going to know. And what the fuck are you going to do? Are you going to call customer service? Hey, I had a dream that was really similar to a Subway commercial. That's not going to happen. Also, if you call and complain to customer service, they're the dudes inside your brain. So they'll just Jedi mind trick you and be like, there's nothing wrong with your brain. You're fine. You have no complaints here. And then, boom. Because they have direct access to your brain. All right? You cease being the person in control of your own mind. Cease being the person in control of your own body. Now, is there benefits to this? Sure. If you're paraplegic and you're already not really in control of your own body, then I can see the advantage. I can see somebody rolling the dice there because they're like, dude, I can't fucking move. I can't do anything. And if I put this thing on and it would allow me to maybe move my fingers to move my body around, all right, I could see you making that gamble. You made that decision for yourself. Good for you. If you're blind, I could see you doing it. If you live with constant pain, I could understand it. Would I do it? Probably not. Why? Because this fucking terrifies me. Now, moving on to maybe another example. This is actually an example of something else because this is not exactly direct control. But the point that I'm going to hear, there's a movie called Serenity, and what they're doing there is they're trying to control population, and they throw out a drug, and this drug basically makes people die because they stop moving because they over control people. The point is, the idea of mind control is not exactly a new thing, and it's something that's been tried throughout history to many ways. Humans have been trying to control humans pretty much since the start of humanity, either through fear, through power, through pointing to putting a knife to your throat, to pointing a gun to your face. They've used 100,000 different tactics throughout history. Blackmail, they'll use it to control you. Money, they'll use to control you. Information, they'll use it to control you. Religion, they'll use it to control you. Drugs, they'll use it to control you. They've been trying to control there's been people trying to control whole human populations since forever. And if you, again, give them direct access to your brain, there's eventually going to come one of these authoritarian people being like, you know what, let's just flip the switch and I can do whatever they want. And who's going to stop me? I'm already in their brains. And so it leads to, I guess maybe I know too many authoritarians because I've had too many conversations with people. I have conversations with friends. They're like, dude, if I was the king of the world, I'd do this, 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 and this. And I'm like, yeah, that would never work because of this and this, and people will never accept it. And he's like, yeah, but I'm the fucking king, so I can do whatever the fuck I want. And I'm like, I would never vote for this guy. And this is the reason why we don't have kings anymore, because they would just be able to snap their fingers and do whatever the fuck they wanted. That's the thing that terrifies me. People have this in their brains, right? They want to control people in that way. It's all about control. It's all about power. And so I would not trust a human with that power. And if you take that to the next level, we are working on artificial intelligence. It's a thing that we're working on. It's a thing that I've been complaining about a lot. Artificial intelligence will eventually surpass human intelligence. We have supercomputers. We will eventually have superintelligence, and that thing will have direct access to your brain if you put a chip in it. And it blows my mind that it's actually Elon Musk who's working on this, because Elon Musk is the one that's complaining about artificial intelligence, or he's one of the people. Now, I get it. Maybe he's like, well, we'll do this chip thing, but if we don't do the AI thing, it'll be fine. We're eventually going to do both. Why? Because humans are stupid that way. And they don't think about consequences. They're like, oh, I'm making this so that people will be able to walk. Yeah, but at the same time, you're going to be fucking over people's minds, man. I get it. And it's, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, right? That's how the expression goes. This is where this goes. Now, again, fortunately, it looks like it's nowhere near as close to being an actual problem. But what worries me is that it's getting closer and closer and closer. I don't think it's going to happen in my lifetime because, again, the brain is a lot more complicated than most people think. Actually, I think if you're at least a little bit self-aware, you understand how complex the brain is. And if they actually put a device that you could put on your head, not in your head, I might feel a little bit better about it, maybe. But I'm an analog guy. Well, in certain things, for example, I drive stick. Again, okay, I'm a paranoid crazy person. Let's just get that out of the way. Let's just put it out there. I'm a paranoid, crazy person. I drive stick for 2 reasons. 1, it makes my heart, well, 3 reasons. 1, it's funner to drive. 2, it makes my car harder to steal. And 3, if anybody ever cuts my fucking brakes, I can always just shift down gear and stop the car. I'm a crazy person. I think about these things. And so imagine if your brain right now works in analog and all of a sudden works in digital, and somebody cuts off your brakes. You're fucked. There's nothing you can do. Why? Because you don't have you cannot shift down your gears. Another perfect example of this, Battlestar Galactica. Battlestar Galactica begins with basically robots hacking the human defense system. Well, AI's hacking the human defense system and blowing up all our nukes at once, because all our defense systems are in digital, and the only ship that actually survives is the Battlestar Galactica, which is an analog ship that was about to become a museum. You do not want to give easy access to anybody, to your brain, to your defense equipment, to anything. And I know what you're thinking. What's the big deal? Like, people like Google Facebook tracks you on your phone. There's this meme of, like, Zuckerberg knows when you poop and all that stuff. You can turn off your phone. First off, you don't have to have a phone, and so you can turn off your phone. You can leave it somewhere else. You can. There's stuff that you can get a VPN. There's stuff you can do to protect your phone, or just not use it, or turn off the mic, or put a sticker on your camera. There's stuff you can do there because external. There's nothing you can do if it's already inside of your body. All right, it's gonna be inside of your body. To me, that's the freaky thing. Like, again, if it was like a little hat and you take it on or off, cool, maybe. But it's gonna be inside of your brain. How are you gonna turn it off? How are you gonna turn it off? It's already inside your head. Imagine every once in a while, every few minutes, you're gonna start seeing a commercial or something. You'll be like, oh well, whatever. It's part of it. I can't turn it off. You can't ignore it. It's gonna be inside of your brain, and all the behavior things that they're saying they're gonna try to take care of. Memory loss means that they're going. If it's gonna work with memory loss, let me just put it big again here. Memory loss. If it's going to, if they're trying to access the part of your brain that protects you from losing memories, that means that they can implant memories. Okay, that's what that means. They'll have access to the memory part of your brain, which is not a good thing. Blindness. You know what that means? That means that it could actually make you blind, because it'll have access to the optical core of your brain. I'm not sure if that's the right word or if I made it up, but it sounded right, so I'm going to stick to it. That means that they could actually make you blind. So imagine you calling customer service and be like, hey, this thing is not working properly, blah, blah, or I want to cancel my subscription, because obviously you're going to have to keep paying for it. You're not just going to get it once. You're going to have to keep paying for it over and over, the same as a cell phone. Like, it's too expensive. I want to change provider, something like that. Like, sure, but, transferring it might actually lead to some blindness, You might actually start losing your ability to speak or forgetting stuff, because we won't have there anymore. So, it's a risk. Would you really want to take that risk, or actually do you want to start paying more? Imagine that. Be like, oh, hey, we're going to start just throwing commercials in your brain because you accepted the terms of agreement, and you won't remember if you read them or not, because they'll have direct access to your memories. And even if you start complaining, they'll paralyze you. It's too much power that you would be giving up to another people for control. And what they want is control, little by little. And the beauty of it is, the greatest trick the devil the greatest trick the devil ever proved. God fucking damn it. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled, there you go. It took me a minute, but I got there, is making you give it up by yourself. That's the greatest trick. Actually, the line from the movie is convincing the world he didn't exist. But in this case, it would be making you do it yourself. Now, again, help people with brain damage. That means that it can cause brain damage. This is a two-way street, bro. This is a tunnel. It can go both ways. If they can fix something, that means that they can fuck it up. Because what's the expression? The difference between anything is a poison. It's all a matter of it's all a matter of doses, right? Dosage. Everything can be a poison. It's all a matter of dosage. So water can actually kill you if you have it in a high enough dose. Paint can kill you if it's a high enough dose. Anything can kill you if it's a high enough dose. And mob nasty, that's the mark of the beast. Is that the expression? The devil's greatest trick? Is that the expression? I'm gonna assume you're right, because honestly I don't remember. To me, I just remember from the movie. So there's a whole bunch of stuff, and the things that really worry me here is like anxiety. All right, you have a chip in your brain that helps you with anxiety. If you've suffered from anxiety, I can understand how this could be helpful. Like you'd be like, oh, or you know what? I can understand how it could be sexy. The problem is that this thing sounds very sexy. It's like, oh, I have anxiety. I have sleeping issues. I have a lot of sleeping issues. It would be great. I wouldn't have to worry about depression and everything. That'd be great. It would be awesome. But what are you giving up? You're giving up, again, direct access to your brain, direct access to your feelings, direct access to your memories. You would stop being you. You would become what is known as an NPC. That is a non-player character that's in video game term. Non-player character. It's also now kind of an SJW thing. But you would literally become a non-player character because you would no longer be the one in control. Imagine you get too rowdy, you get too crazy, and all of a sudden the cops say, you know what? That person, shut him down a little. Calm him down a little bit, and you lose that part of yourself. Now, good or bad, I guess it's debatable for some cases, but in general, I think it's a bad idea. You would be giving up you. That's it. And you're trusting what? Some dude in Silicon Valley who wrote some code? That dude could, and I know a lot of people are saying like, hey, well, somebody will have like extreme firewalls and it won't be easy to hack. The people who provide the service could hack you. Like they're the ones that have direct access. And if not, somebody wrote that code. Somebody could write a different code. If not, we're working on AI, and I'm sure that a super AI will be able to write the code that is going to fuck you over. Do you not see the consequences here? It's a big deal. It's scary stuff because you'd be giving up control. In fact, you know what? If you're a gamer, think of the game that you spent the longest time. Think of an RPG that you spent a long time on. Let somebody else play that character for an hour. Just let somebody else play that story and save it for an hour. See how you feel about it. See how you feel after losing control of something you've been working on for, let's say, 100 hours, and somebody else messes with it. It could be anybody, like a random. You know what? Pick somebody you know. And let them mess with the character for an hour and save whatever they've done. See how you feel about it. Sucks. It's scary. It feels almost kind of like rape in your brain, right? Now, imagine somebody fucking up with your entire life. Your entire fucking life. That's the character. That's the life is an RPG. You've been playing your entire fucking life, and they'd have direct access to it. You'd be giving somebody else control of that saved game. Let's just say I'm not a fan, all right? I don't like robots. I don't like AI. I don't like the idea of anybody going into my brain. I don't trust anybody that much, especially people I don't know, especially people who think they're smarter than everybody else, because people who think they're smarter than everybody else tend to be the most authoritarian because they're like, well, I'm smarter than you, so I should be able to tell you what to do. Yeah, trust me. I'm smarter than you. I know what's better than you. Because you know what? I don't like those people because those tend to be the people who just don't give a fuck about you. I did this example before when talking about AI, and this is one of the big issues with smart people. Sometimes they lack a little bit of empathy. And so, for example, how do you feel when you kill an ant? Like you, human, how do you feel when you kill an ant? You don't really care. It was a dumb ant. Whatever. And so if a robot smarter than us, like an AI smarter than us, kills us, they'll be like, whatever. It's just kind of human. Humans are kind of the same way. Humans, when they see somebody who's inferior than them, they're like, whatever. Like, we can use them as cannon fodder. What do you think? They send just a whole bunch of poor people to die at war. They're like, whatever, I don't care about them. The elites, the leaders, they don't care about you. Because, you're just, whatever, just a poor dumb person. Just a poor dumb kid. Send them over to die. That's why they don't go. You don't see, what is it, was it a Rage Against the Machine lyric? It's like no. It's Black Sabbath, the politicians who start the war and never go and fight them, right? Because that's how humans are. There's a level of arrogance and there's a level of honestly evil that makes them feel like people are disposable. So it's like, oh yeah, they're a bunch of NPCs. I'm the main character here, so I should be able to do whatever the fuck I want because I am the king, right? And just to remind, like a quote from Tyrion Lannister, any man who calls himself the king is no true king. So put your arrogance down a little bit and honestly do not let this happen. Or you know what? Honestly, this is the beauty of this country, the beauty of capitalism. They could create it. Go ahead, work on it. You don't have to buy it. I won't buy it. If it's something that has to be like actually inserted into my body, I will not take it. So You do whatever you want, I guess. You have the freedom of it. My recommendation is avoid it. If they can do it externally, do it externally, because you can just take that shit off. Like these headphones, boom, take them off. Now, I mean, I can't hear as well. It's a complication. It's a problem. It would be inconvenient. Now I have to like put them on. I have to put them off. I have to charge them. There's a whole bunch of stuff to do with being inconvenient, but I have control of my ears. So, free advice: take it or leave it. Don't buy it. Don't trust it. And honestly, don't trust anybody with that kind of power over your own life. It's a bad idea. I don't like it, but that's my 2 cents. And I believe that's it for today. That's a good place to stop. I believe I got my point across. Hopefully, it was good enough. If not, well then you'll end up being an NPC. So I don't really care that much. As always, any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram and at SuperDarPeriodWorld. Mob Nasty, I'm very happy that you won't be buying it either. You know what? If I manage to convince one person, I feel good about it. If you already agree with me, I don't care. I'm not alone. I won't be the only NPC out there. So good on you, Mob Nasty. Like I said, I'm live streaming pretty much every day on Twitch and YouTube at SuperDarioWorld. As always, thank you for listening, and I'll see you again next time.